Hello and welcome to the Angus Report, a news program geared for cattle producers who are targeting quality and value-added opportunities in the marketplace. I'm Bob Cervera.
And I'm Paige Wallace. From American Angus Association headquarters in St. Joseph, Missouri, we bring you the week's top headlines, including a trip to Oregon, where we bring you coverage of the 2011 Certified Angus Beef Annual Conference.
We'll see how ranchers and the people who sell their product can learn from each other to deliver a unified and truthful message about agriculture to consumers.
We hear why restaurateurs, retailers, and others have grown their businesses during tough economic times by embracing the quality beef revolution.
We'll learn how modern beef production practices actually improve the environment, not hurt it.
And we'll learn how Angus Juniors have found new and innovative ways to prepare certified Angus beef.
This is the Angus Report. Our top story for the week, the 2011 Certified Angus Beef Annual Conference, held in Sun River, Oregon, is now in the history books. But the opportunity it presents each year in unifying industry sectors has paid big dividends to cattle producers who've used Angus genetics in their cow herds. A big part of the Certified Angus Beef Annual Conference is about recognizing the marketing, sales, and beef preparations of food businesses from around the world. But it's also about working together to build demand for the world's most successful branded beef program. Almost 500 restaurateurs, retailers, chefs, and food distributors came from just about every major consumer market in the United States, Mexico, and Canada. They tried new recipes, learned about innovative promotional ideas, and networked with others involved in producing the brand.
I want to focus on quality. I want to focus on caring. I care about my animals. I care about the environment. I care about the end product, that you're going out in the grocery store and buying. And being able to focus on quality and to focus on relationships and to always be focusing on how we can do all of the little things right to marble and produce a great tasting eating experience.
About 14,000 businesses partner with Certified Angus Beef in the United States and 46 other countries, generating $3.7 billion in consumer sales annually. During fiscal year 2011, which ended September 30th, total sales for Certified Angus Beef exceeded 800 million pounds for the first time in the brand's history.
Participants at the 2011 Certified Angus Beef Conference not only learned about what others are doing in the restaurant and retail sectors, but also visited ranches that are directly involved in producing the world's most popular beef brand. There's truth in the old saying, walking a mile in someone else's shoes does a person a lot of good. That's the message from restaurateurs, retailers, and distributors who spent a day in Oregon walking in pastures and meeting face-to-face with Angus ranchers. Interestingly, many of the participants had never been on a farm or ranch before.
They're excited about what we do, and they want more knowledge to share with the consumer and their customers they're selling Certified Angus beef to.
Getting to attend a seminar like this and work with actually hands-on with ranchers and breeders and seed stock people enables me to talk firsthand to our customers and, as I say, help them make the best decision that they can make.
The tour is just one example of how the American Angus Association and Certified Angus Beef are working hard to bridge the gap between ranches and the urban marketplace.
Environmental and food activists have claimed for years that modern agricultural production, particularly beef and dairy cows fed with corn and other grains, is damaging the environment through increased land and water use, along with more greenhouse gas emissions. Now, while the debate over climate change continues, research at Washington State University shows that grain-fed beef, not grass-fed, actually has less negative impact on the environment. And because it's more efficient, it shows more promise for feeding a growing world population in the coming years. Jude Camper, who spoke at the 2011 Certified Angus Beef Annual Conference, has spent the last 2 years researching the differences between grass-fed and grain-fed beef. The results of her work are surprising. Grain-fed beef has less dependence on water, land, and resources, and has a significantly lower carbon footprint per unit of beef than cattle raised only on grass. In fact, since 1977, it took 5 animals to produce the same amount of beef that it takes 4 animals to produce today. That improvement is due in large part to modern grain-fed beef systems.
So if we feed cattle corn, they grow faster, and what that means is from birth until harvest, they take a total of fewer days. Now, every single animal on the planet every day needs feed, they need water, and therefore land and resources and fuels, and they also emit carbon every single day. So if we can grow those cattle faster in a corn-based system versus a grass-based system, even when we account for other things like fertilizers and fossil fuels and transport, we still have a far lower resource use and carbon on the corn-fed side versus the grass-fed side.
Dr. Capper underscores that her research is not intended to criticize grass-fed beef and those who choose to produce it, but to counter ongoing claims that grain-fed beef is more damaging to the environment.
Perhaps the greatest lesson of the 2011 Certified Angus Beef Conference is that consumer demand for quality beef can actually increase during tough economic times. Cattle Facts' Randy Block, who spoke at the conference this year, shared insights with participants about the beef industry and how a quality eating experience is key to growing beef demand both here and abroad.
Demand has rebounded in 2010 and 2011. It's rebounded at the rate of about, if we put it on a per head basis, it's been worth more than $250 a head on the value of a fed animal is how much demand has come back. But when we look at certified Angus beef demand, it's grown at a much more rapid pace than what we've seen just average domestic beef demand in this country. And I think that stands to reason. Fewer consumers are eating out, and when they go to the retail stores and make the decision that they're going to buy a steak product, they have, I think, voted with their dollars that they want a great eating experience, and what we're seeing them do is pick higher quality brands like certified Angus beef.
Cattle Facts projects that the U.S. cattle industry will not see growth in the coming year, due mostly to cow herd liquidation in drought-stricken areas. But because of increasing carcass weights, total beef output will be down by only 1% in 2012 compared to 2011. We'll be right back with the Angus Report in just a moment.